Good morning. I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for taking the time to spend Sunday with us here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so grateful that you have decided to do that. Good morning. I'm Reverend Martha Quintana. I'm the senior minister here at the Rio Grande Center, and it is a beautiful day. So, what's going on this week is we are beginning to think about moving back into the sanctuary. There is a team we've put together, a reentry team, who are making recommendations to our leadership about how to do that. And the consensus is that we want to do it in a way that allows everyone to remain healthy, allows our community to remain intact. Right now, thank God, I've not heard of anyone in our community that has the virus or who has caught the virus. So we'd certainly like to keep it that way. So we are already thinking about that. Next week, I will be broadcasting from the sanctuary. So I'm going to leave my cozy little house and go back into the sanctuary. The building will still be closed to congregation, but it'll allow us to start moving back in. We are also refurbishing our soundboard with video equipment, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later, so that people who feel like they can't come back immediately, they can continue joining us wherever they are in their homes, that they don't have to come back to the building for Sunday morning broadcasts. So all of that, we're going to do it in a way that's respectful of our congregation, that allows us to remain healthy. And so next week I will be broadcasting from the sanctuary, and I'll be happy. I'll be really excited for you to see all of the work that's been done. I am so grateful to every single person who has taken the time to go down and help with the refurbishing. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. This past week, the crew finished hanging the lights, the screen, and now we're working on the soundboard, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. So in the meantime, thank you for being here today and welcome. And and Marilyn O'Leary is here with me today across the way. Oh, wait, you know what I want to do is I want to thank everybody who puts this together. Today, holding our high watch is Kathy Mathiasen, Toby Pope, Julia Washington, and Greg Gardner, along with so many other people, other practitioners around the city. Doing invocation is Marilyn O'Leary, and we have music today with Kamatara and Ken Johnson. It's such a treat. And so our technical team is across the river. We have Annette Martinez, and again, Kamatara will be our host for the Zoom. So please go to Zoom afterwards so that we can have our social hall together. That's what's going on today. And I am so grateful for every single person that's here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Together, we make this spiritual community. And for that, I am so very grateful. So with that, I would like to turn this over to Marilyn O'Leary for our invocation.
Love is all there is. Love surrounds us completely. Love is in the air that we breathe, in the trees that rustle. Love is in every person, every animal, every plant, every stone. Love is there. And love is motivating us and is keeping us safe and connected. And we are connected in that oneness of love. Even though we are not sitting next to each other, we are connected. We are connected in powerful spirit. And we are connected through the love that we feel for each other. So knowing that, I know that every person listening here is connected in spirit and love. Every person who is listening is open to the wonderful word of Reverend Martha. And we are blessed. This community is blessed. We are blessed with all of the blessings of spirit, with abundance, with joy, with health, with well-being, with power. It is all here for us now. for us to take part in and for us to accept. And knowing that, I know that this service is particularly blessed today. Reverend Martha and her words are blessed. Ken and Kamatara and their music are blessed. The people that get this sound to us and this picture to us are blessed. We are all blessed. And so we are here together celebrating life, celebrating love, celebrating oneness and connection. And please say with me, and so it is. Amen.
Oh, thank you, Marilyn. This is Memorial Day weekend, and my heart and gratitude go out to the men and women who have lost their lives in wars, and as a result of their participation in battle. And a great principle that is part of that is freedom. A few years ago, Centers for Spiritual Living did a study, and they wanted to know what it was most important to us religious scientists. And what they found out was that it is freedom that is what is important to us. And in order to have this freedom goes beyond just wanting to acquire joy or just feel the joy. It goes beyond that. Freedom goes to the recognition of the inner self, that inner self might come out, because it is when that inner self that is constrained is that we feel like we don't feel free. When we're bound to old things that no longer serve us, that's when we don't feel free. And so this freedom goes beyond that to this place that allows us to become who it is that we truly are, and to allow ourselves to be that something more. This week, well, as many people know here, a couple weeks ago, we got a puppy. And so this puppy, Lucy Lou, doesn't get the concept of the dog door. Well, she's getting it, but she hadn't quite gotten it yet. And so even though we pushed her through the door and showed her how and gave her treats, she still didn't quite get that she could go out at will. And now she's kind of she gets that she can go out, but now we still have to invite her out. And so she doesn't quite get the dog door and the freedom that she has to go and come as she chooses. And I was watching her one day, just staring at the door, really looking at it, figuring it out, And I thought to myself, where in my life does that happen to me? Are there places in my life where I have the freedom to come and go the way I want to, but I have not allowed myself to have that freedom. I've not allowed myself to become that something more. Earlier in meditation this week, Spirit was talking to me, and we all get it in our spiritual practice. Yes, Spirit begins to talk to us. And I have a saying, I've had a saying for quite some time. It is what it is. Whatever it is, whatever is going on, it is what it is. Yeah. So this morning, this week, in preparation for my talk, I was thinking about freedom. I was thinking about all of that. And what I got was that to grasp infinity and bottomlessness, to something that's infinite and bottomless. And the reason is, it is what it is, and it's always becoming. So nothing is ever static. We are changeless beings in changing conditions. As a result of that, I have the ability to move in and out of my life in ways that I have not even discovered yet. Because sometimes when I make a decision, and that is the power to choose today, whenever I make a decision, it's that decision that gives me the ability. That's the door that I can walk through. I have made a decision. And so in our reading today, and I've been studying Ernest Holmes' Creative Mind and Success again, just because I love it. He says there is there is a field around us that is waiting to receive the impress of it. He even calls it, he says that it's a mind so plastic, so receptive that it receives the impress of it. It's just waiting for us. And part of this freedom comes from the acknowledgement that I am in concert with myself, because there are decisions that I make that not everyone is going to agree with. And that's okay. There are decisions that you make that not everyone is in agreement with. What's even more important is that I am in agreement with it, that I sit with it. There is a decision. The power of choice is this decision that needs to be made. Holmes says, he says, in the center of your own soul, choose what you want to become, to accomplish, and keep it to yourself. Choose what you want to do, but keep it to yourself initially. Every day, in the silence of absolute conviction, know that it is now done. It is just as much done as far as you are concerned as it will be when you experience it in the outer. Imagine yourself to be what you want to be. See only that which you desire. It is imagine to be what you want to be, see only what you desire, refuse even to think of the other, stick to it, never doubt, say many times a day, I am that thing. Realize what this means. It means that the great universal power of mind is that, and it cannot fail. So whatever it is, if it's a position, a young woman I met had wanted to be a nurse, and she didn't feel like she could because her mother didn't like it. But her mother lived several states away. And I said, what would happen if you just became a nurse? She says, Mom isn't going to like it. I said, is Mom putting bread on the table? She says, no. Is Mom dressing you? No. What would happen if you became a nurse? And she looked at me, her eyes got so big. And I said to her, here's what you need to know. All mamas care about is that you're happy, you're fed, you're clothed, that your life is good. Even when we don't agree with you, all we want is for you to know that we love you, that's what a mom wants. So go ahead and do whatever it is that you need to do to be this thing you need to be. So in her, and I said this because I love this aspect of Ernest Holmes. And I said, initially, don't tell her about it. And why is that? It's because it's a little flame. It's a little spark that's just being nurtured, that's being exposed, this little spark that's wanting to turn into a flame, that's wanting to become that something more. And if when it's just the tiniest little spark, if we throw a big old log on it, that's going to put it out. So what we need to do is whatever we decide we're going to do is just to keep it to ourselves until it becomes big enough that it can light the way for you and for others. Because if it's coming from you, it is the divine that wants it. If it's coming from you, it is divine that wants to see it. Holmes goes on to say that every person has the right to choose, that we as individuals are here to choose those things that are ours to choose. He says, we cannot escape the fact that we are made in such a way that at every step, life is a constant choice. What we do need to do is to select what we feel to be right and know that the universe will never deny us anything. We choose and mind creates. Remember this, we choose and mind creates, because nothing ever moves except mind. Even to move my hands, my arms, my mouth, none of it moves unless it moves in mind first. So whatever it is that is done in mind, that is what collapses into form. We know as religious scientists, so in quantum physics, we know that energy moves along in waves as long as it's unobserved. But the moment it becomes observed, it collapses into potentiality. And that's what allows our prayers to be so powerful, our choice to be so powerful. Because when we begin to choose, when we begin to say, this is who I am, and from this comes this desire, and this is what I am going to become, when that happens, then I begin to collapse into that potentiality. For if I'm a changeless being in a changing world, then I am becoming. It is what it is. I am who I am, and I'm becoming, constantly becoming that something more, that something more, that's something more. I am never stuck, no matter what happened in the past, no matter what I've become before, no matter what I was before, no matter what I've said or done. I have the ability to shift, to change. And this decision, in its tiniest, earliest form, is better left unsaid. Holmes in this, I love this reading because, and it's Creative Mind and Success, pages 31 through 37. And I love this reading because he talks about us and he says, don't ever think you're getting old, that you're too old to do something. He says, as a matter of fact, a 70-year-old can should be able to demonstrate better than a 20-year-old because the 70-year-old has the experience, has the knowing, has the ability to demonstrate. And so he gives us so many instances when people started something later in their lives and were highly successful at it. So whatever it is, it's never too late. Whatever it is that you want to do, it is the time to start is now. Make that decision now. We have the power to choose. We have the ability to become that something more. Go through that door. There's at no timer we can find. And really, the key is to be in agreement with the self. If I take the side of all of those naysaying voices, and sometimes somebody may not have even said it out here, or I may think that somebody's not going to like it out here, and I've already taken their side before I've even allowed myself to get out there. And my soul, we know this, my spirit loves me so much that whatever it is I think, if it's even the voices of somebody else, then it says, oh, yes, my darling, of course, I am so happy to give that to you. I am just so glad that you can have this. If I say I am old and miserable and lonely, my spirit gets so excited and goes, yes, yes, that's the experience you want. Absolutely, my darling, of course you can have it. It's up to me to choose what it is that I'm going to do, how it is that I'm going to be. That often is the opportunity, is to get to get away from myself, to get out of my own way, that I can become that something more, to pray until I know that those prayers are answered, to say, I am, just as Holmes counsels us to do. I am that something greater. I am that something more. I am that which I am. And Holmes goes on to say, he says, how does anything come into being? Well, it comes into being from a decision, yes? He says, daily, you are going, and here is the spiritual practice. This is how we do it. He gives us even the ability to do it. He says, daily, you're going to give to the creative mind exactly what you want to happen. Daily, you're going to give to the great creative mind, and that's all capitalized. So whatever you want to call it, God, creator, in this case, great creative mind, exactly what you want to happen. You will see only what you desire, and in the silence of your soul, you will speak, and it will be done unto you. You will come to believe that a great divine love flows through you and your affairs. You will be grateful for this love. It fills your life. It satisfies your soul. You are a different person. You are so filled with activity and courage that when you meet people, they will wonder at your energy. They will begin to wish simply to come in contact with you. You will be uplifted. And that comes from that spiritual practice for allowing the spirit to get out, for allowing yourself to be seen. The time has come. No more do we have to hide. The time has come for us to allow ourselves to be that which we want to be. You know, today's a dog day. I was thinking about, and some of you have heard this story about many years ago. We had a puppy and an older dog. And this one morning I'm doing laundry and I'm bustling up and down the hallway. And I see the puppy go by with a bone in her mouth. And so she goes all the way to a room at the end of the hall. She goes into the room and she air digs a hole and puts the bone in the hole. And then she covers it, what looks like to me imaginary soil. And I think, wow, that's so cute. And then after a while, I continue to bustle around. The old dog comes and she comes around the corner and goes down the hall and she's sniffing. And she sniffs all the way into the room and she's sniffing all around the bone. And here was the surprising part. She air dug the bone out. And it was only when she did that she could see it and take the bone and go along her way. So that's what we're doing, is we are creating this, we are allowing ourselves to remove those things that aren't seen, but they're there, those energetic barriers that have been there, all the energetic barriers that have been there, like that older dog taking that imaginary field away from that bone. The puppy had protected it, and the older dog was able to remove it. And that's what we're able to do as religious scientists, is remove those things that have been barriers to us. It's a good day for this. So Holmes says, you are the center of power in your own life. You are the center of power in your own life. Be sure and not take on false suggestion. That's the voices of the naysayers, yes. The person who can do this can have what he or she wants, can do what he wishes, and become what he wills. Life, God, the universe is his or hers. So that's what's going on today. Make a decision, make a choice, be free, and let yourself be seen. Namaste. It is our prayer time. And so in this moment, all I know is God. God here, God there, God everywhere. In this moment of God, it is life itself, the life that has created the ocean, this planet, the life that has created the ancient and the new, that one that precedes even time and yet is time itself. For that one life, the one that I call right here, right now, is the one that answers. And in its answer, it is peace. It is joy and happiness, grace and goodness, beauty and truth. It is that. And I am one with it. I'm one with it, for I've never been separate from it. Like it, I am grace and beauty and truth. Like it, I am one with all that is. And as I know this for me, I know this for everyone watching right now, everyone who is to watch, and every member of our Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. Each of us is one with the divine. Each of us is one with that goodness, with that truth, with that being, with that absolute beauty. And in that, I affirm and declare that whatever energetic barriers have stood in the way of these decisions to let ourselves be known, that they now fall away, never to return. I affirm and declare health where it is needed, goodness where that is required, that love, that joy, that happiness, wherever it is needed, wherever it is required or needed. For truly all of us are the child of the great Creator. All of us are each here by divine appointment. All of us are part of that great living whole, a necessary part of the community. For were it not so, we would not be here. It is who we are, and I am so grateful. I am grateful now for all of it, for this joy, for this goodness, for this beauty. I am grateful. And so knowing that all is well, I release my word, knowing it cannot come back to me void, knowing that as I've spoken, it is done. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. It's time for us to share our good fortune with each other, our financial abundance. And I want to tell you about something that we're working on. Normally, I just generically ask for money, but today I wanted to let you know about video equipment. We have started to refurbish our soundboard so that we can be able to broadcast our services from our sanctuary. Up until now, as you know, we've only had audio, and given the state of our country and our community right now, it is important for us to have video as well. This is a necessity now instead of a luxury. And we did some research this week, and it's going to cost us $2,400 to put in the video equipment. And we are also going to need a newer laptop in order to run it all. So in addition to your contribution, if you could add a little extra for the video, whether you do it by text, please add in there if there's an extra amount in there for the video equipment. I really appreciate that. Wherever, if you go to our website and you donate that way, and you want to add a little extra for the video equipment, I know together we can raise the money for our video equipment so that we can live stream from our sanctuary, so that we can remain a community. And so thank you for your donations. I am so grateful. We are, like so many people, we fell a little bit short last month, but my God, I am so grateful. And the fact that we are able to remain together and be together is just such joy to me. So thank you for your donations. Thank you for your consideration. With that, I want to bring Kamatara and Ken Johnson on. They have a special song that they've written for us. And here they are.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to La Casa de Johnson again, but this time live. So I want to say thank you to our beautiful teenager, Ava, who is behind the camera. And I am Kamatara, and Ken is going to tell you a bit about this very special song for Memorial Day.
This song, just to clarify, we did not write this song, but we will be performing a song by Edwin McCain. 90s kids will remember him. This is a deep cut off the 1999 Messenger album. And it's a perfect song for Memorial Day weekend because it makes us stop and think not about the flag, not about the country, the picnics, the parades, and all the blind patriotism, but it makes you remember the one thing that every war has in common, and that every war takes human beings. And this is about the people. Oh, it's called Prayer to St. Peter.
Thank you.
Oh, duh. Here we go. Let them in, Peter, for they are very tired. Give them couches where the angels sleep, and light those fires. Let them wake whole again to brand new dawns, fired by the sun, not war time's bloody guns. May their
peace be deep. Remember where their broken bodies lie. God knows how young they were to have to die. God knows how young they were to have to die. Give them things they like, let them make some noise. Give them dance hall bands, not golden hearts, to those are boys. Let them love Peter, for they had no time. They should have bird songs and trees, and hills decline. The taste of summer in a ripened hand, and you're sweet as meadow winds and flowing air. And tell them how they are missed, and say not to fear, it's gonna be alright with us down here. Let them in, Peter, for they are very tired. Give them couches where they can just sleep and light those fires. Let them wake whole again, brand new dawns. Fired by the sun at wartime's bloody guns. May their peace be deep. Remember where their broken bodies lie. God knows how young they were to have to die. And tell them how they are missed, and say not to fear, it's gonna be alright with us down here. Tell them how they are missed, and say not to fear, it's gonna be alright with us down here.
Oh, thank you so very much. Well, that's our live portion. Well, it continues live in Zoom. And I would like to end today with a special tribute for our men and women who have died in battle. Until next week, see you in the Zoom room.